we go. So now I would invite Natasha to do a little introduction to the workshops as you have never heard of them, and then we will take it from there.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I see a lot of familiar faces today, but for those who haven't met me yet, let me introduce myself really quickly. I'm Natasha. I'm Greek. I'm based in Athens, and I'm project manager in ECHN for almost 3 years now. Currently in charge of Creatively project on behalf of the network, and I will be also managing the exchange programs with ECHN. So, as Rita mentioned, the new project cycle is about to begin, and today we'll give you a sneak peek of one of our key activities, which are the workshops. This initiative was born out of the need to support smaller emerging hubs, because we know that these hubs don't have the capacity to host bigger events, and but at the same time, when it comes to education and local community involvement and impact, they are very active. So this is a very good opportunity to gain more visibility in the network. Yeah, as we told you, this new project cycle will be 4 years. That means we will have one workshop per year. And this time the focus will be on digital skills, which is one of the top priorities for European Commission and for the network. However, we are open to other topics, but keep in mind we will the focus will be on digital skills, and we will prioritize the application on the topic. So what will be new this time is the structure. We will the workshop will be structured in we call it a blended learning format. That means that the participants will first meet online as preparatory stage, and then they will come together for 4 days in person, and they will be hosted by the selected hub. The rest remain pretty much the same. The participants will be 15, and again we give priority to smaller from the participants from smaller hubs, and we will after we receive the application, the members will vote the hub that will host the workshop, like we did in the previous cycle. What else? Regarding the format of the workshop, it will be flexible. So its hosting hub can adapt it to their own needs. But what we expect in the end of each workshop is a concrete output, most likely a toolkit that will be shared in the end with the community. We don't have a set timeline yet, but we'll follow up with more details. Rita, did I forget anything?
No, thank you so
I
much.
think, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I think we
pass the mic to you,
thank
you
you.
were closely involved in the past year.
No, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank you so much for the intro, Natasha. So, and especially like the new details. So we've been like also the this focus on digital skills. It's as Natasha was mentioning is something that was also we had to adapt to the needs or requirements from the commission. So of course to let this be clear, like this will have it will have like bonus points if you focus on these topics. We'll still like we will then give you like the exact details on how much this will improve the evaluation, but still it's not exclusive, as also Natasha. So we just want to like underline this because we know some of you work within the digital sector, others are more into analog things. So this is not like this will be an exclusive requirement. There's many points of evaluation in the criteria, as we also tried to do from in the previous years, like looking at this like from the uh, various criteria to do the voting process. So it's not just like you pick one within a list of proposals and hubs. Like no, for each one we ask you to evaluate the content, the topic, the like. So there's many things. So this will be like an extra point that there is this focus on the digital skills. So we're also giving you this because once we launch the call, and we know some of you are already um, preparing to submit your proposals because we've been in contact about this. So this is also so you can already start um, fine tuning more like the ideas or like coming up or starting cooking the proposal. So once we launch the call, you're more prepared and you have more time. So I think the timeline from all this process that also Natasha was mentioning, from submitting the proposals to the voting to the no announcement of the winner, and then defining a date and actually agreeing on a date with the winner proposal and opening. This is a more or less like 4 months process. It's a lengthy process. So as soon as we have like the green lights that we can resume our programs, we will probably start with the workshop. So hopefully, we cannot be sure because it's not really on our side, but let's say in a couple of weeks, hopefully May is the time where we can when we can launch this. So from my side, because I've been also always with Mirto, like following the developments and the preparations of the previous workshops. I decided it's also good to give you a few insights and practical information on things you should account for. So this is it's a grant that we give you to organize, and it's a grant of 10,000 euros. So this means you will be responsible to manage also the budget and how you allocate the budget. It's absolutely up to you. So there is no extra for like the travels or accommodations from our side. So this is really something that like you win a budget of 10,000 to set this up. So a few things that we also have learned from the three editions that we helped prepare or organize is that once you start allocating the budget to understand in the end, depending also on where you're located, it's nice to have an idea on how much the participation, like everything that is not included, let's say like you focus only on the program. So you should also consider that whoever wants to participate, they will have like all the extra costs of what is not included. So keep that in mind. For example, if traveling is very expensive or accommodation is very expensive for the foods, like because this is important that you also give an idea of like what's included is this and what is not included can cost you on average this X amount, for example. So this is something that it's on a practical side. It's a practicality, but it's important because this can, in the end, also allow some people, or on the contrary, like save some people from participating because maybe sometimes it's like the costs start rising too much. So to include like a few meals or a percentage or part of accommodation or like sorting at least like some. So this is just it's food for thought. Again, you don't have to 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 tackle necessarily none of this, but it's good that you consider this also like the practical. So think this as a whole and not just as the program itself, which is obviously like the program and the content is the most important, but just a heads up to try to think also on the practicalities that will involve also the participation and coming there and being there in your places, cities, villages for this period of time. So I think maybe now I will let our first hosts to do a little intro on how was the experience, what went well, what they would have done differently, and then also this, as you know, and usually it's an informal conversation. If you guys want to ask specific questions, like to either anyone in the team or any of the hosts, feel free to just like raise your hands and we can start a conversation now. But I would maybe start now with inviting Agustín as the first workshop host at Anceu.
Hi. Well, first, thanks for the session. I think it's super nice that the hosts have some space to talk about our experience. Because I think I've already read like how cool is this smaller experience as a workshop. It's like in our case was a bit more than 15, but sometimes in the assemblies there's like a lot of people. You don't have time to actually spend time with other hub managers. So I think it's very powerful having these smaller events where you actually have time to meet them more, to exchange more ideas, and so on. So our workshop was called Rural Hacking Workshop. So our idea was to help, or not to help, to co-create together a toolkit to create local impact for creative hubs. So I'm gonna start talking first about the challenges. I think I would say our biggest challenge was that we were the first workshop. So we didn't have anything to like now. Like I don't have anything to copy from the other speakers because I'm the first one. So it's like I don't know what the other people is gonna be
Sorry,
talking about,
Agus,
right?
again, but I know you can do it.
So we were like, and as they were as Rita and Natasha were explaining, like it's pretty open. There's like a lot of flexibility, which is super good. But at the same time, it's like, okay, what should we do? How many people should we invite? Because it's like we have the co-living space. So we have a space for 20 something people. And even the workshop was like, no, with 15 would be enough. We invited more people. We have this, the more the merrier, and let's see how it works. So we ended up being 23 people, which works fine for us in terms of our business is basically host people. So we've been more than 25 here and nobody died, so it worked. But there was like we had a lot of talks about it, like how many people should we invite? And then at the time, if I'm not remember wrong, there wasn't that much limitation about if the participants had to be members or not. So we're like,
Let's open. Yeah. So that's actually that's a
exactly.
very good point. So we open first and we give priority to the participants. And once we give them enough time to apply, if we still have seats available after the 15, other people can apply who are not members. Good point. Yes.
But in our case, it wasn't like that. It's like, it'd be nice if you invite at least 5 members, but it's all up to you. So yeah, I think it worked kind of well in terms of several of the participants that were not members ended up being members, and they saw the how powerful this network is. So on that it worked well, but there were like too many decisions that we had to tackle them by ourselves because of this openness. So I would say that was our biggest challenge. And then yeah, for us it worked very well. The fact that we were in the co-living, that's what strength the relationship between people, like sharing meals and waking up in the morning in your pajamas and having a coffee with the rest of the participants. That's how you make friends, and then the fact that Anceu Coliving, it's pretty isolated. We're in a small village, less than 100 people, so there's nothing, there's no bars, it's the Coliving. So that would make that during these 5 days of the workshop that people were like really spending time together. Then we, as we have like facilitators on terms of no formal education, that worked also pretty good for us with spending a whole day just for icebreakers, just for the people to get to know each other, to talk a bit more. We had, again, that was a decision because it wasn't in the program, but we had calls with all the participants before the workshop to also the part of the expectations control and like, okay, what do you think this is going to be? How do you think we can help you out? Because that's why I said at the beginning it was a co-creation process. It's not that we went there and say, okay, this is why it works because it worked for us here in the middle of nowhere in Spain, and that's going to be working for you in Switzerland or in the UK or in Germany or in Croatia, right? So it was like a lot of back and forth with all the participants to find a better status for the program. And then as a last thing, because of the workshop, we start a project called Pegadas do Recordo. So the people that came to the workshop, they spent 1 day and a half starting a project in the village of Anceu. Anceu is the name of the co-living, but it's the name of the village. My imagination is not very good, so I went for the easy path. So the thing is that the project was about old paths in the forest of the village. So the people that were the participants, they met with the locals, they recorded some videos of them, and they did the editing. So because of at the time we did 5 groups, so we recorded 5 videos. Now we have more than 10. But because of that, we continue the project. And the good thing of this is that having an end goal also puts people together a lot. So that was one thing that really worked very, very well for us. And yeah, I think that's that.
Very good tips. I've noticed them. I was for future record. Thank you so much. So now, Tom, if you like to go on a take, you had an easier task because we had already gone through the first edition. So
Thank you, Agustín, for the opening. I'm going to do it slightly differently. I've got some slides and I'll run through them very quickly in terms of what we did. I went to to the rural hackers, so I got to see how it should be done and learn from that, and learned a lot from joining in on that. So excuse the noise in the background. I'm exhibiting at an event, so there might be some noise periodically. But I'll just share my screen if I can. There we go. Everyone see that? Yeah, cool. Right.
yes.
So, as I said, I went to Augustín's workshop, and it was amazing. I've never been to a co-living, never had heard of a co-living before joining ECHN. I was one of those members who I wasn't a member. I was on the Twin Hubs program, and after going to Anceu, we joined as the making rooms, and then this was our pitch in Romania. So basically looking at what do we want for the people, who are we trying to attract. It's not just about, so we're a makerspace, not just about getting makerspaces, it's also looking at co-living, co-working, and getting them involved in makerspaces, as well as giving other makerspaces an insight into other themes that they can do. So when you do these, you will basically be asked to present. So this was me presenting in Romania, in Vaba, and then this is our space, and we were selected, so everyone could come to sunny Blackburn, as it's known. It's always sunny. And so what happened? So we had 15 hub leaders from 11 countries visit for a week in Blackburn. We aren't a co-living, so we don't have space. So it's a mix of Premier Inn and Airbnbs. In terms of an immediate learning point, I think Callum will agree with me. Vet your Airbnbs very heavily, because it wasn't the best, but the rest of the thing made up for it, I think. And the Premier Inn's lovely. So we got straight away, first day, people arrive in dribs and drabs. So you have to sort of think about that, as to, you don't want to like re-explain things. You want small activities to sort of start and wait until everyone's arrived. So we had lots of things like soldering, e-textiles, and then 3D modeling. And then most people had arrived by that point, and so we made sure to go to the nearest pub, which, as you can see, is about 5 seconds away, because it's all about the culture as well as on that side of things. And then we went for a nice meal, which is a bit too spicy. So I think that's another thing. Blackburn is well known for its spice, so we should have adjusted accordingly, I think. Next day we went for a tour. So someone from the council, Julia, gave us a tour of the town, and got to see the various sort of art installations, the cathedral. The dean was making sure that no one stole anything, which was good. And then looking at sort of the reimagining of the town as well. So we've been in Blackburn for about 8.5 years, and a lot has changed, and the council are really energetic and motivated to change things. So looking at what's there at the moment, how you fit into that sort of, how does your organization and what you do fit into the rest of the context of the different organizations. So this is St. John's, which will be, it's a burnt down church that will be turned into a co-working space, and the exchange as well. This is a cotton exchange that never sold cotton, because the cotton industry collapsed before they could. But again, looking at those spaces and how they could be reimagined. This is Rebecca. She sort of spoke about how the town has been on this journey, from opening up empty shops so people can sort of start businesses for free, to the things, the different organizations that we've got, like the making rooms and festival making, and a number of others. Straight back into making. So we have a nice mix of like different processes, and then see how you can engage partners. One of the things I'd do differently if I sort of went back is to try and engage as many of the partners as possible early on, because we sort of course corrected as we went, when more partners were at dinners and events, and it's like, oh, bring them to our space tomorrow. And so having all that in place first would have been easier, but it was still good. So we had an event at the local cinema. So that's one thing that I think went really well. And we've since done that again. We'd never done it before. I think no partner had done that. And now lots of our partners are sort of engaging with that cinema to run events. So we presented, had everyone basically do 5 minutes. Some did more than 5 minutes. We've now bought a clock that counts down, so I don't have to sort of do that. I'm sure Ruth will be doing that with me in a second when I go over on this talk. But yeah, so we got everyone to present 5 minutes, and it was really inspiring, I think, for everyone. I think that's really nice in terms of that one-to-many approach of like 5 minutes, really all the best stuff, and then you hear so much from so many people. And we had a lot of our council leaders, and they were just sort of buzzing of, you know, the idea of a co-living space and a co-working space, and these are things that they had never been exposed to. So that, and obviously all of our partners as well as all of the delegates that arrived. So we heard from every partner. My favorite story is Paul, where as a teenager, he would break the windows of this old military barracks, and then as an adult running a hub, he had to fix them, which is perfect. But yeah, so we heard from everyone, and it was really great. I've been able to visit a few of these spaces since. Then next day we went to the youth zone. There's a big youth centre. We've helped them set up a makerspace. It was originally in this little room, as you can see from when the delegates visited a couple of years ago. And now this huge space has been renovated. Augustine and Africa and Callum have since visited it and seen it sort of how it is now. So we've got a huge makerspace. And so it's getting... We use this as an opportunity for the delegates to work with our partners as to like reimagining what that space could be, and that's all gone into that process for them. And this is what the space sort of looks like now. These are the renders. We also have a similar journey for us. So we took some of our delegates down to our basement, which is unrenovated. I'll talk about what happens next about that. Biomaterials, relying on different delegate skills as well. So we're in a journey in terms of textiles. We didn't have any textiles. We now have some textile machines. Pauline will talk in a bit, and I've been on that workshop as well. And so the things that your hub can get out of it in terms of seeing what skills, as Agustín said, like I'd done video calls as well with everyone to see what they're interested in, what the skill base is, and how you can sort of merge that together, because these are people that want to sort of spread their knowledge as well. So see what you can do in terms of that. And then lots of non-makey things in terms of like different themes and people again just sharing you can chuck an idea on the wall. It could be a post-it, and then everyone will sort of have a lot to say about it usually. And then you'll turn around for 2 seconds and people will have taken over a space. So this wasn't on the agenda. So we had a little print farm, and everyone was calibrating and 3D printing and stuff. So yeah, I'll just skip through. Just very visual stuff. As you can see, it's always sunny in Blackburn. 1 minute, okay, cool. But it was very cold, so we warmed people up, and the council treated them to a nice meal. So again, like if you've got sort of supportive local councils, see what they can do to help. That really helped, because that meal would have really eaten into the budget. So it was really good that they could help us with that as well. And obviously, you've got to really share the culture. So after that meal, as I said, we involved a lot of partners. So we had basically 4 impromptu partner visits the next day. Went to AMRC, which is a huge manufacturing research centre. And then we went to the college as well, and to some independent studios. So again, if you can think about those things beforehand, it'd be great, instead of changing it on the fly. But it was fine. More lovely photos, and then back to the cinema. To hear from our local partners, Unculture Creatives, British Textile, and Art Manufacturing and National Festival Making, and a review of the week so everyone could all of our partners could see what everyone had been up to. And then we hosted one of these brunches from lots of different laptops in the space. So this is what it was meant to look like, the week. And this is what it ended up looking like. So we had sort of 2 or 3 things going off at any one point in different rooms, and people could sort of pick their own journey, which I think worked really well. But also they could sort of, just coalesce and sort of say, hey, what can we learn about this? And then everyone can sort of change this on a Miro board, so it's just live as well, which was really good. So what was the impact? So people have started makerspaces. So Agustín has started a makerspace in Anceu, and he has come back since and picked up some more skills and taken them back there. So that's lovely, considering that we went there and then they've come to us. We've got lots of, even the makerspaces that were already established are starting to do different things as well. So it's really good to see. And also, some of the potential sort of big international effects that it can have as well. For us, briefly mentioned that some of the impact was having 15 hub leaders from 11 countries come to a small northern town, 120,000 people, is really big. It was really important for the council. They really loved that it was happening, and they were really engaged with it. And since then, they're putting 1.5 million into our building to renovate the basement that you saw and put a lab on the roof as well. So that's sort of some of the. I'm not sure it wouldn't have happened without the workshop, but I'm pretty certain, to be honest. So that's just in terms of like the impact that it can have on your hub as well. So involve as many partners as possible. It will be amazing. Breathe. Everything will be different. Just roll with it, kind of thing. So just everyone there has been in your position to some degree. But everyone wants to help. Just let them basically as well. And yeah, we made a toolkit as well. Sorry. Cool. Right. That was probably over time.
Thank you so much. It was, but it was still like very insightful, Tom, and like so many good tips actually, like very good. The points that you things you pointed out, like I think brilliant and very helpful. So thank you for that. So now let's go to Pauline, so we don't stretch this too much over time, and we still have time for questions. Pauline.
Yeah, will be.
Hello.
Hello. So I don't have any slides.
No worries.
Yeah, I will more follow Agustín, copy it.
The style. Yeah.
So we organize a workshop in Lyon. The Textile Lab is a space creative hub for textile and fashion. As we already are in a niche industry, and we really focus on one project we have in the lab to develop a new way of recycling textile locally, with also almost what we already have in the hub. So it was really interesting to set up this program. It was really brings also lots of knowledge how to organize this workshop. So we got 18 participants. We also open because sometimes hubs want to come with 2 people, so we arranged to have also a pay fee in order to help the budget, to hold up the budget and accept more people if people can pay a little bit more for this. We organize also all the dorm with the stay in the hotel. We bring everyone in the same hotel, and with the workshop included the bunk bed. That's also a tricky part, because then the first day and night you have to arrange some people who are not so happy to be in bunk beds, stuff like this. What I could do next time is maybe I will have a room in the same hotel to manage and to don't have to call the hotel very, very late to be on it. Maybe it's also because of it's really nice when everyone, I think it's the same in the co-living, but everyone in the same place. As you live in the city, you don't impact the budget, but could be great. Also, maybe some fear of missing out some moments. So yeah, we try also to include a lot of meals, so it's a bit stressful. Is it enough? Is it okay? Is it not too late to eat? So it's yes, all this kind of stuff. And about the program, so I think it was really progressive. We did a lot of visits in different scale of industry, in recycling stuff, and yeah, I think it was really useful to do this really in the beginning, to know the ecosystem of what's happened here. And it's also question a lot the participant to what's happened in their country, in their cities. And yes, so we did it on the 5 days, but half the afternoon first, and only the morning on the fifth days. It works well, I think. My only regret is then really, really tired after this. So maybe, I didn't put in a follow-up in I think I should have organized maybe a webinar for feedback question, how it's going now, if the knowledge disseminate now in the, but I think it's not too late. It was just in October, so let's be gentle with ourselves. And yeah, I think I'm time for question. No.
Thank you so much, Pauline. So yes, I think it's not too late. Also, the impact, I think often it's like it's not immediate. So it's actually we need time to see like how the participants actually use this knowledge. Like for example, Tom had already like 2 specific, concrete, tangible outputs is like people who actually started their own maker spaces. But often it's like it will come with time. It's like things that will stay in slow cooking until they actually have like a proper outcome. I will open now for questions. So we try not to do this much over time. And then after the questions, maybe we'll add 1 or a few more things. Anyone wants to ask questions, it can be either to any of the hosts who just presented. For us in the team, feel free to just unmute and jump in for the questions.
Maybe I can add something.
Go on.
It's also it's a bit, there is a part very stressful when you launch the call and you wait for the participant to subscribe. So it's nice also if you already manage to know what kind of hub, creative hubs and members can be really interested in the project, because then you if you not sure if you can organize it in time and etc. So it's yes, I think good to know what people to contact personally, because just the open call.
Yes, that's a good point. So also to clarify, like first of all, even though sometimes like you might feel like the topic that you're covering is very niche. For example, Pauline's topic was like super niche. We're talking about like upcycling of like second life of waste textile materials for non-garment purposes, like very like broadly. And of course, it's a very niche thing. Like most of our members don't work within the textile sector, but we do have a core that actually does. So, but anyway, this again is voted by the community. So this was voted by the members as the best proposal. So then you have a second stage on like the participants, who is participating. So of course, then from our side at ECHN, we also try to make sure that the members that we know can benefit most from a specific topic that we're covering, that we try to make sure that they are aware that this is happening. And so it's also nudging to make sure that all the ones that we know are like willing to work on this specifically. So that's another stage. Agus, go on.
Yeah, I was thinking that it may be interesting, maybe on the when the members vote the different possible workshops. One question should be like, will you join it? Because maybe you can think it's, I think that's important, because on one hand is that you think it's interesting, and on the other hand is like, I would be part of this. I think they're like those are two different things. And
Yes.
also, I would even include like, okay, if you would be willing to join, when would be best dates for you? Because that's also a big thing, like the dates, because we all know we all run hubs and we all have 1,000 different things. So it's good to say, okay, to add that on the equation, because if not, the hub that is that gets the workshop, there is an extra work there. Okay, let's try to figure it out, the dates, who will actually come, and so on. But if you can narrow that down, it's like, okay, I have already 20 people or 20 hubs that they are interested in that, and the dates are more or less, so maybe we can already talk about it earlier. I don't know, just
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, no, it's tricky. Like we've learned from the example of Tom, for example, that September was a terrible idea. So we already also adjusted and had to postpone. So this is also some things that we can adjust to make sure that we have more people and the people who are interested can participate. So also this is like something that is organic, is not static, as you know, like so the first, like we had to do this, for example, in the second workshop, we opened the call, we realized like this date was terrible for most people. So then, okay, we adjust, we launch a second date, we agree with Tom, we reorganize. And then like, of course, the second date was much more suitable. And then of course we had like all the participants. So let me quickly
And staying away from ECHN events as well. So if there's already been like a big meetup kind of thing, like giving it
like not being too
away from those
close.
things.
It's true. So I have maybe one question that is for Vasily. So before we proceed, we have from Norton here, what are the digital skills you prioritize? So this, I think maybe we have Vasilis in the room. I will let him maybe jump onto this one.
It's great having to answer things that I have no idea of, so that's great. But just to clarify, so the digital skills priority is something that's coming from the European Commission priorities, and it's superimposed within our program. So what we say that any kind of digital skills that are relevant to something that would interest people, I mean, within our communities. So it could be anything. I mean, from, kind of how to work with a 3D printer, now thinking of Tom, or of how to run social media. I mean, thinking of myself, which I have no idea of. Anything that has to do with digital skills falls within, the spectrum of this chapter, but also to say that this is not obligatory. I mean, so the idea is that we are prioritizing this, but it's not obligatory. So also in the voting process, there's going to be an extra field that might give some extra points to some proposals that will come with digital skills topic, but that doesn't mean that we do want them, and that is something also from our community to choose. But we had to make it like this and to prioritize digital skills, also to tick the box also for the European Commission during our submission phase. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I think we had something as digital skills and creators need. So also like looking at this from this perspective, like things that also the managers can probably bring and share within their community. So, I think we're all more or less familiar with the what are like the skills that people need and most often are lacking. So, this we also leave to you to adjust and propose to what you think makes sense for you guys. We have other, okay. Valiana, thank you. No worries. I don't know if you have any other questions at the moment. So if not, I'll just like very, very quickly share with you like what is the timeline for this. Give me just 1 second. So this is something we've been also looking at. So we're starting now with the info session and the Q&As and all of that. Also, meanwhile, this is something I was discussing with Natasha before. Once we open the call, so when is the writing stage already, and when we can already, when we send on all the information about the proposals, We will, of course, we're always available to answer your questions. So whenever you're writing, if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and we will try to help you as much as possible during the process, which we've always done. Like the idea is that we help you thrive and like get to the best proposals possible. So of course, we're here and available for that. If needed, if we see there's too many questions, we might actually like have like not maybe another branch dedicated fully to this, but on the brunch of that period of open call, we also might give some room, like half an hour just for Q&As in case you guys are writing and struggling with something, and we can just do this openly because often the questions are similar to each other. So when it's already more specific, when you're already in the proposal writing, so then we will open the call at some point. So this will be like a minimum like 3 weeks that it stays open. Then the submission of the proposals, and then we will also have 1 day for pitches. So whoever submitted a proposal, then once we close and we have all the proposals together. This sometimes we did this on live events when this was according to our agenda, like happening within the same timeline. So if we had like a physical meeting happening meanwhile, we would have the pitching sessions on one of our gatherings. This might not be the case this year, so we'll probably do this online, but this you will hear. So all the proponents can actually do like a 5-minute presentation about their proposal, the aim, the scope, and the first draft of the program. Then we open for voting. So then all the community will have like 1 week, something, few bit more maybe, to go through the proposals in detail and then go through their voting. Then of course we will inform the winner as soon as the polls close. And then we start working already with the winner on agreeing on a first draft of dates. So again, as Agus suggested, we can maybe have like 2 or 3 and then like maybe adjust accordingly. So this again is something that can be seen like closer to the time, and also according to the availability of the host hub. And then we open the call for participation as soon as we have dates. We open the calls, and so then if your proposal didn't get through, or if you didn't actually even submit a proposal, which is fine, then you can also apply as a participant. So ECHN members are prioritized, obviously. So then if we still have room for other members and people who might be interested, creative professionals, they can also participate. But our members are obviously prioritized. So then also the motivation, the selection process, like it's not just applying, like of course, like we want to understand, because we might have more applicants than free spaces. So also this participation has to be justified on the motivation, on how much you think this will be useful, like on how you plan to implement the learnings then in your spaces. So that we also make sure that we have like a motivated cohort. So then, of course, participants will be informed when we know it, and then, of course, all of this will be co-producing. Meanwhile, the event itself, and then the event will happen. So. Whew, this is still like it's a minimum of a 4-month process. So this is why we'll start this as soon as possible. I don't know if there's any other questions. We're a bit over time now. No, it's fine for me, but I just don't want to keep you waiting much more. It's clear enough for now. Okay. No, I think it was very good. I think I was very happy that actually all our hosts responded like very quickly and positively to participating. I think this is actually the most enriching. Like they are the ones who have been going through this. So first of all, I wanted to thank them for their immediate availability. Like, yes, of course, we'll come. So just very happy to have you all here. So again, Pauline, Tom, and Agus, thank you so much for sharing and for this actually very important insights. It's like you mentioned, very important stuff that we would miss on our side. So thank you for that. They're all well noted. Thank you, Natasha, for introducing, and thank you all that came. And we will be, of course, in touch, and we'll be more than available to answer any other questions in the future. So I think this is it. I wish you all a lovely weekend. We will be on a break next week, so also please keep that in mind, that we will answer your questions, but from the 22nd on. And I wish you all, like, for those who celebrated, a good Easter break or just some nice, relaxed family time.
Thanks
Have a
very much,
lovely
Teresa.
weekend and happy Friday.
Bye bye.